Hello, in this video I'll show you how to replace the timing belt kit and water pump on Volkswagen Golf 5 1.9 TDI with an engine code BRU. The timing belt on this car is located on the side of the engine, just over there. To get access to the timing belt, we need to clear a few things. We need to remove them. We start first with the fuel filter housing. Remove the bolts for the fuel filter housing. We don't disconnect any hoses, we just move the fuel filter housing to the side. Next, we'll remove the two brackets that hold the air intake hose and remove the hose. Next, we'll remove the two bolts that hold the coolant expansion tank, and we don't disconnect any hoses, we just move the expansion tank to the side. Next, we remove the wheel. Next, we remove the mudguard, and afterwards the engine undercover. The next thing that we have to remove is the engine mount. This is the right engine mount because the engine mount is in the way of the timing belt. We need to jack the engine underneath before we remove the engine mount. If the video is useful, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. Next, we will remove the engine mount support. There is two bolts on top, one on bottom that we need to remove. One of the bolts is a little bit tricky, so you might need to go to bring the engine up and down just to see how it's gonna be easiest for you to remove the bolt. This is the bolt for the engine mount support that's on the bottom. Now we will remove the timing belt upper cover, and then we can remove the engine mount support. Next, to remove the serpentine belt. Next, to remove the 4 bolts that hold the crankshaft pulley. Now we're gonna remove the bolts that hold the timing belt lower cover, so that we can remove the lower cover. We actually can't remove the timing belt lower cover because the serpentine belt tensioner is on our way, so we'll remove the belt tensioner. The belt tensioner is held by 2 bolts. One of them is right there and the other one is on top. You see exactly how I remove this bolt. And that's the belt tensioner out. Now we can remove the timing belt lower cover. Now we have access to the timing belt. Next, we will turn the crankshaft so that it can go to top dead center on number 1 cylinder. Okay, now we've put it on top of the center on number one cylinder, so we can lock the camshaft and the crankshaft. This is the camshaft locking tool that we're gonna be locking it with. And this is the crankshaft locking tool that we're locking it with. There is a mark on the crankshaft sprocket, and this mark has to align with the arrow on the locking. Now that we've locked the crankshaft and the camshaft, we can loosen the 3 bolts on the camshaft sprocket. That's where exactly I locked the camshaft. And that's how I locked the crankshaft. The mark on the crankshaft is exactly where the arrow on the locking tool is. Next, we will loosen the nut on the tensioner pulley. After we loosen the nut on the tensioner pulley, we'll use Allen key size 6 to turn the tensioner pulley anti-clockwise. Afterwards, we can install a pin in the tensioner pulley, and then we can turn with the Allen key the tensioner clockwise so that it releases more of the tension of the timing belt. After we put in the pin and turn with the Allen key the tensioner clockwise, we can tighten the nut of the tensioner. That's how the tensioner looks with the pin installed. Next, we can remove the timing belt. That's the timing belt removed. Now next we have to remove the water pump and replace it with a new water pump. To remove the water pump, you might need to pry it out a little bit with the pry bar because it might be stuck in the engine. That's the water pump that we got out. Next, we put on the new water pump. After replacing the water pump, next we can remove the nut for the tensioner pulley, remove the tensioner pulley and put on a new tensioner. Next we will remove and replace the parasitic pulley. Make sure you tighten everything up to spec. Now we put on the new tensioner pulley. When you put on the tensioner pulley, make sure you get an Allen key and turn it in clockwise direction, and then tighten the nut so that we can put on the timing belt easily. That's how it looks when I turned it clockwise and then tightened the nut. Next we will install the timing belt. After installing the timing belt, next we'll untighten, we'll get the nut on the timing on the tensioner pulley loose, and we'll remove the pin that was in the tensioner pulley, and now we'll turn the tensioner pulley with the Allen key clockwise until it reaches the mark on the tensioner pulley, which shows how tight it is, and then we can tighten the. After we tightened the tensioner pulley in its exact position, next we can tighten the bolts on the crankshaft sprocket, on the camshaft sprocket. Make sure you tighten everything up to spec. After everything is tightened up to specs, now we can remove the locking tool for the camshaft and the crankshaft, and we can turn the crankshaft 2 cycles until it goes to top dead center on number 1 cylinder. When the crankshaft goes to top dead center on number 1 cylinder, we'll try to install the locking tools again on the camshaft and the crankshaft. If they install alright, that means we're done with the installation of the timing belt. So the locking tool on the camshaft is in. Next we'll put the locking tool on the crankshaft. Yep, the both locking tools are in. That means timing belt is installed. This is the tensioner pulley, and we see where exactly how tight it is. It's exactly in that position it has to be tightened. Now we can remove the locking tools and install everything, assemble everything in the reverse.